Hello everyone, this is likely to be the absolute very final entry of this Interplay's Lord of the Rings series. When I was making the videos for Edoras, especially all the tricks that were going through my mind about duplicating certain swords, I was thinking that I didn't actually mechanically know very much about the different swords that were available. I was trying to make an extra Glamdring and extra Anduril, but I didn't actually know, like, who, if anyone, should I give it to, how much better is it than just a regular sword. So in between sessions, I ran up to the attic of Edoras. In the actual game, I used counter magic to avoid a fight with that phantom that Saruman summons, but in this, I fought it repeatedly. Basically, for each of four characters, that's Aragorn, Gandalf, Éomer, and Theoden, I fought the Phantom 3 times with each of 6 weapons, so 18 fights per character, per character. They would use sword, magic sword, Theoden's sword, Herogrim, Troll Slayer that we brought over from the first game, Glamdring, and Anduril. I basically sat down with a pencil and paper and recorded misses, how many times you hit, how much damage they did, etc. These don't all have the same rate. I did a 0 to 20, but deleted things that had no entry. So, like for instance, Éomer has a bunch of misses, but Aragorn and Gandalf hit every single time, and so they don't have missed categories in their entries. I was not able to determine an easy pattern. Anduril does seem to fairly consistently perform the best. For Aragorn, we've got, as an average damage, most of them is like 11.5, except clustering around 11.5, except for Anduril, which is 12.7. For Gandalf, he does a bit more damage, although you'll see, like, with the sword, he did less than Aragorn, even though Aragorn actually did second best with the regular sword. He does quite a bit better with some of the magic swords. Éomer and Theoden started missing a lot. I can't prove it, but I suspect that dexterity has a sharp curve for your 2-hit, and that their much lower dexterities meant that they were missing a lot. But they also hit a lot less hard. Éomer does best with Anduril again, although he actually also does quite well with Herogrim. Theoden, though, however, does slightly better with Glamdring, although Anduril is still his second best weapon. One thing I did want to test for and did not seem to find any evidence supporting is a kind of characters do best with their quote-unquote weapons. I didn't see any spikes for, say, Herogrim in Theoden's hands, or Glamdring in Gandalf's, or Anduril and Aragorn's. The other thing, and I did not note it down in this, I didn't have an easy way to put it down in the spreadsheet. I did have it in my personal notes. Herogrim does not count as a sword, and you can't use block for it. Just for the record, I did regular attacks, no blocks for all of these tests. But even just regular attacking, I tended to have the Phantom hit me harder when I was using Herogrim than when I was using the other weapons. I suspect that having a sword equipped when you have swords gives you some kind of defensive bonus. As it stands, I do not have any easy pattern for the other weapons besides Anduril does seem to be best. I'm just going to highlight for each character and hold it there for a while in case you want to see it up in close. For Gandalf's stats, it does seem that damage when you do hit aligns fairly linearly with strength. This is Éomer. Oops, let me scroll it over so that it's visible. This is Éomer's attempts. And last but not least, Theoden. If anyone who ever watches this can come up with a better pattern than I've been able to figure out, I really would like to hear it. I've done, you can see that because I recorded the number of swings. We've got literally hundreds of data points. That should be enough for some sort of easy probability curve, but I couldn't work it out. Anyway, that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I will be doing more in the future.